Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Siri. Thank you for joining us. A single father in Malaysia gratefully volunteers with Tzu Chi after receiving Tzu Chi's financial assistance to support his 4 daughters. Tzu Chi volunteers in the Philippines provide medical assistance to an elderly woman who needs to care for her 3 mentally ill children. Former UMC Managing Director Yen Po Wen left work to switch gear and head Tzu Chi's charity mission. In Malacca, Malaysia, a Tzu Chi care recipient has to raise his 4 daughters with his meager income after his wife passed away. Fortunately, Tzu Chi has provided financial assistance to this family and improved their lives. To pay the love forward, the man has joined the ranks of volunteers.
This newspaper, which was published 13 years ago, reminds Liu Thiu Thong of when he relied on his meager income to raise his 4 daughters.
Their door was closed every day. At that time, their living condition was very poor. His father had to take care of his 4 daughters alone.
That year, their difficulties attract social concerns. Fortunately, Tzu Chi Volunteers in Malacca lends a hand just in time. Besides providing scholarships for the children, they also offer subsidies to support this family.
With the company of Tzu Chi and some brothers, he slowly dealt with the grief of losing his wife.
Over the course of more than a decade, Mr. Leo's 4 daughters have finished their studies, and he has also changed his role.
I have to finish loading up these recyclables. I do what I can to help.
He is very diligent and he can do everything at this recycling station. He comes here whenever he has free time.
If you call on him, and as long as he has free time, he will show up without any excuse. I think he's a person who always feels grateful and content.
With Tzu Chi's love and care, Mr. Leo has changed from a care recipient to a volunteer, which also brings happiness to his family.
I have made many friends and improved my social interaction, so I feel less stressed and happier. I live a better life now.
I had a very difficult life when I was young. Now everything is getting better.
Also in Malaysia, the Jingsi Books and Cafe in Penang held a special activity for young volunteers to express gratitude to their parents. At this occasion, these children not only presented a variety of performances, but they also served tea to their parents.
Performing the bell and drum, these young volunteers participate in this special event to express gratitude to their parents.
It is great to organize this kind of activity because we can interact with the children, especially on Father's Day.
Young volunteers present a series of wonderful performances. They sing, tell stories, give dance performances, and play musical instruments. Their outstanding talents impress their parents, who record and photograph these moments with their smartphone.
Cunning has a chance to be an MC at this event, and she is able to speak on the stage, so we feel very happy.
I'll serve tea to my father because I want to express my gratitude to them. Actually, we usually do not have the chance to repay their love, so I grasped this chance to serve tea to them.
This father served tea to his mother, setting a good example for the young volunteers to follow.
This activity provides a chance for us to serve tea to our mother and to practice filial piety, so I should seize this opportunity.
I feel very happy. It makes me happy when my child serves tea to me.
Filial piety is the foundation of a family. It should be carried out in our daily life and be passed on from generation to generation.
In the Philippines, an old woman, Salita, needs to take care of her 3 mentally ill children. Despite her old age, she does laundry for her neighbors to support her family. However, with this meager income, she cannot afford to pay the medical expenses for her eye disease. Tzu Chi recently provided medical assistance for her.
People this age should enjoy the rest of their life, but Salita still needs to take care of her 3 children who suffer from mental disorders.
I insist on taking care of my 3 children. I can't imagine what will happen if I give them up. I cannot afford to see my children become homeless while I live comfortably at home.
Worried that her children may get lost, Salita has to lock up the house before she leaves. To support her family, she does laundry for her neighbors.
I respect her because she still needs to work even though she is very old. She does everything for her family. No matter how hard the work is, she never complains.
Jennifer, who is married with kids, is Salita's only daughter who has normal mental health. When she was in college, she did part-time work to get by. Now she brings her children to take care of her family.
She works very hard and she has endured her eye disease for many years. Being able to receive medical assistance from Tzu Chi, she feels quite happy.
Jennifer tries to help her mother as best as she can, but since her family has financial difficulties, she cannot help financially. With the assistance of Tzu Chi, Salita can finally receive treatment. She knows only when she has a good health can she take good care of her children.
In our next report, we meet a loving father, Nestor Altizo, from Rizal province of the Philippines. After his eldest son was diagnosed with polio and mental illness during childhood, Nestor has been caring for him for 33 years. His wife passed away last year, and he has decided to be a full-time father.
33-year-old Kenny suffers from polio and mental illness since childhood. He relies on his 66-year-old father to take care of him.
When my son was born, the doctor was unable to diagnose why he was sick, so I tell myself that I will take care of him wholeheartedly.
The focus of Nestor's life is to take good care of his son. This includes going to the markets to buy vegetables and cooking 3 meals a day. After his wife passed away, Nestor also plays a mother's role.
No one will take care of my son other than me. My other children will soon have their own families. I'll never leave Kenny alone, and I will take care of him until my last breath.
Nestor also bathes his son and helps him use the toilet. His friends once suggest him get married again, but he is always faithful to his deceased wife.
I never thought to marry again. I'm a full-time father. The most important thing in my life is my son, and I also love my deceased wife.
Nestor accepts the defects of his son and he shows endless love to his family. His other 2 children will work part-time to help support the family. The most precious thing in his life is the harmony and happiness of the family.
A Taiwanese resident has been stranded in the Philippines because his son committed a crime. Having no money to support himself during this period of time, he developed mobility issues due to malnutrition. Tzu Chi was asked to help him return to Taiwan. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers visited him again to deliver help before taking him home.
This man who weekly lies on a Jinsi folding bed is Han Jizhong, and he is 70-some years old. As he suffered malnutrition for a long period of time, he has become skinny. His 14-year-old grandson is the only person he can rely on.
I'm the only person who can take care of him. I don't dare to leave him because I worry that no one can look after him.
This is the second time Tzu Chi volunteers have visited this care recipient. Last time, volunteers brought him a Jinsi folding bed and 10 kilograms of rice. This time, they bring him a wheelchair, bath him, and take him to trim his hair because he can finally return home. 2 years ago, Han came to the Philippines to visit his son, but after his son was arrested for drug trafficking, Han's passport was also detained. Ever since, he and his grandson have to stay at someone else's place, and his health condition has worsened. After getting notified by his friends, the Taipei Economic and Cultural Office in the Philippines pledges to provide assistance and asks Tzu Chi to help him return to Taiwan.
I feel like I cannot fall asleep tonight. Actually, I could not sleep last night.
Mr. Han feels excited about returning home, but the only thing he still worries about is his grandchildren.
It will be great if my grandchildren can come to Taiwan regularly. I'm not planning to return to the Philippines because I'm getting old, as I am nearly 80 years old.
As for his two grandsons, we're planning to contact their mother to pay for their transportation fees so that they can return to their mother's side.
On this day, Mr. Han's long and painful journey comes to an end as he can finally return home.
The managing director of United Microelectronic Corporation, Yen Po Wen, recently announced his sudden retirement. Yen is leaving work because he wants to shoulder the responsibility of Tzu Chi's shared mission as the managing director.
Retired from the technology industry last month, Yen Po Wen is now following closely in Master Zheng Yan's footsteps.
Normally at work, due to my position as a managing director, I often walk ahead of everyone. Here I am always the last in line. I feel repentance.
Yen worked at the United Microelectronics Corporation for 31 years and retiring as a managing director. He's made a name for himself in the technology sector and has been even named the top 10 managers nationally.
We are really lucky to have such a talented person join us.
Jingsebo Dharma Masters and Tzu Chi volunteers welcome Yen to Tzu Chi, while he visits each office to greet and meet the staff. Yen mentions that he got to know Tzu Chi through his wife, Wu Meifen.
One day I came out of the shower and my wife had folded my towels nicely and handed it to me, bowing at 90 degrees. Later I found out the volunteers treat the care recipients this way. But it was that respect that moved me.
In 2006, Yen was in Singapore for work and his wife got to know the local Tzu Chi volunteers. In 2007, Yen visited a year-end ceremony and was enlightened.
I saw the video of Tzu Chi's events at the end of the year and saw how much Tzu Chi helped all over the globe. They did such heartwarming deeds.
After returning to Taiwan, Yen and his wife joined together to train for their volunteer certification. Even during his busy schedule, he used his spare moments to do recycling. He also recruited his co-workers to join him to perform in Tzu Chi's year-end celebrations. Now he's looking to do more by joining the Tzu Chi Foundation to shoulder the responsibility of being the director of the Charity Mission Department.
In New Taipei City's Banqiao, a Tzu Chi care recipient has made her house filthy by refusing to throw things away. Volunteers have persuaded her to receive medical treatment for her hoarding habits. Recently, they helped her celebrate her remodeled home.
Over the course of 4 years, Tzu Chi has been repeatedly visiting Mrs. Wang, who lives alone, cleaning her home 4 times. Typically, it only takes half a year to see her home filled with garbage again. After a lot of persuasion, Miss Wang finally agrees to go with the Tzu Chi volunteer on the bus and MRT to visit a hospital to talk to a doctor about her bipolar disorder and her compulsive hoarding.
Tzu Chi brothers and sisters have long accompanied this homeowner and have taken her to see a doctor, and she has shown signs of improvement. After cleaning her environment, it's now much safer, and they have even helped her decorate.
This 40-year-old house saw Tzu Chi volunteers pitch in to overhaul it and make it safer. A cleaning took place both inside and outside. Also, Mrs. Huang was told that the upkeep of her home will depend upon her alone.
Everyone was very enthusiastic in volunteering together to help her clean up her home. This is good for us neighbors as we no longer need to encounter this difficulty anymore, and our home will be cleaner. People are quite good, and in the end, we are more at ease.
I'm very grateful to the Master for allowing these volunteers to accompany me and care for me. In the future, I want to be a more useful person from now on.
Whether or not this woman is able to keep her pledge of keeping her home clean is something that all Tzu Chi volunteers are eagerly looking forward to seeing.
According to the Ministry of Health and Welfare, 1 in 3 women 65 or older suffer from urinary incontinence. To treat this problem, acupuncture, herbal tea, and exercise can be done to help strengthen the pelvic muscles. In addition, getting rid of some bad habits can also help prevent the onset of urinary incontinence.
Do you wet your pants when you cough, sneeze, run, or lift heavy objects? Yes. Do you urinate involuntarily? Yes. The diagnosis is that you may have incontinence. According to statistics, among women who are 65 or older, 1 in 3 suffers urinary incontinence. According to Chinese medicine, the problem is caused by qi deficiency in the spleen and kidney.
In Chinese medicine, the spleen controls muscles. Therefore, if the spleen qi is deficient, muscles that lost control will sag and lead to urine leakage. We know that the kidney, which is connected to the bladder, controls water. If the kidney qi is weak, the bladder loses control, causing leakage.
To treat the problem, TCM doctors suggest drinking herbal tea that includes sharp leaf galangai fruit, Rehmannia, and dangsen to strengthen the kidney and qi. In addition, wolfberry and red dates can be taken to enrich the patient's blood. Then acupuncture, which can strengthen the qi, can also be applied.
Acupuncture can both strengthen and release the qi. If the patient is feeling weak, acupuncture will release his qi. Therefore, we must apply warm acupuncture. Laser acupuncture is similar to warm acupuncture since it uses infrared light. It can stimulate the blood circulation.
Besides Chinese medicine treatment, patients can also do Kegel exercises to strengthen the pelvic floor muscles. First, tighten the pelvic floor muscles for 2 seconds, then relax for 5 seconds. Then repeat a 3-minute cycle before resting for 10 minutes. It is best to do it for 3 cycles every day.
We can place a stress ball or pillow in between our knees. Tighten our pelvic floor muscles as if we are holding our urine. When you feel that the pelvic muscles are lifted and tight, you are doing it correctly.
Although many people might think urinary incontinence is a problem faced by elderly people, it is actually a common problem among women who have bad habits. This includes constipation, sitting for a long period of time, obesity, frequent consumption of coffee or tea. These habits can increase the pressure in the abdomen and lead to urinary incontinence.
Tzu Chi volunteer Huang Caikun is 100 years old this year. Despite her old age, she's still healthy. Furthermore, she goes around volunteering and helping other people. Other Tzu Chi volunteers regard her as treasure and recently held a birthday party for her.
Tzu Chi volunteer Huang Caikun is 100 years old this year. Her son serves her tea and washes her feet. It makes her smile from year to year. First, she did not want any birthday party held for her.
Sister Caikun said we shouldn't spend money for her birthday. We should donate it to help Syrian refugees.
Sister Caikun preferred the money to be donated for the international relief work than on herself. Then the volunteers invited those volunteers who were 75 years old and their families to celebrate their birthday together. That she finally agreed.
I am the most fortunate and most blessed. I am happy today. Thank you.
Sister Taekwon started volunteering when she was 70 years old, and she never refuses any call for her help. When she visits other senior people, they are all younger than she, so no one dares to say they are old. She also learned Tzu Chi's e-book, and now she can teach people how to use it.
Although she is much older, she never uses it to force other people to obey her order. She always agrees to anything you ask her to do. Isn't she my role model? I believe she is also everyone's role model.
Sister Taekwon often sings that song to her grandchildren, but now they have grown up. Her family supports her doing Tzu Chi work.
In Thailand, Tzu Chi volunteers recently held a humanitarian camp for new volunteers at a university in Phitsanulok. It was attended by 53 people who are ready to take on more responsibilities.
To recruit more volunteers, Tzu Chi volunteers in Thailand have held camp for new volunteers at Narusang University in Phitsanulok, attended by 53 people. The university vice president gives a talk to encourage the attendees.
There are no requirements in terms of districts, occupation, or social status for people to become volunteers. As long as you have love and are willing to help others, you can be volunteers.
I believe that the class attendees can turn what they learn into concrete actions. They can also give without asking anything in return when they become volunteers.
The 3-day classes begin with a tea ceremony. Then attendees learn about Tzu Chi through speeches and introduction about Tzu Chi's 4 missions.
In the past, when we help others, we feel that we were giving. However, after today's class, we've learned to appreciate them for accepting our help. They gave us the chance to give with love.
Today I've learned that helping others is practicing compassion and wisdom. We should not just give to them once, but we should really improve their lives.
Wearing the great uniforms, the volunteers are ready to take on more responsibilities. They've also found the correct life path at Tzu Chi.
In China, Tzu Chi has been promoting environmental protection in different regions. In Xikun village of Fuding, a local government official who recognizes Tzu Chi's conservation efforts held a gathering to introduce environmental concepts to residents. We'll leave you with these images at the end of our program. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.